Lewes has a new way to tell stories, not through words, but through art. And in this week's Coastal Connections, Elisa Weber takes us to the Lewes Historical Museum, where they've got a new mural that is telling the story of the first town in the first state.
A colorful mural now adorns the front of the Lewes Historical Museum, highlighting key moments in the city's rich history. Being chosen by Art and Bloom to create it was an honor artist Michael Rosado took very seriously.
Whenever I paint a mural, I think about that. How will the viewer engage in this, and when I'm painting, and it's very satisfying when that engagement is positive, and you get positive feedback. It means that you were successful in your interpretation, and it's. And I take the responsibility of painting, especially for other communities, very important. It's something that I embrace wholeheartedly, mind, body, soul.
From Native Americans to Lewis's shipbuilding heritage, the artwork truly comes to life, so much so that you might do a double take, thinking parts of the painting, like the raccoon or the goldfinch, are actually real. Creating a mural like this is no easy task. Rosado spent more than 400 hours bringing the project to life, but he says the hard work is always worth it.
Call it the humility of preparation. If you prepare yourself well, for telling a story, usually by the end you'll have a successful, product.
Rosado says small American towns are often the best to paint for, as he finds they're often hidden gems and a melting pot for ideas. And of course, Lewes was no exception.
There's so much American history, in Lewes. You've got, the gambit. It's like a sweeping epic of a novel, in one little town. When you have that much history in a small town, there are so many rich stories, and it just makes the process of telling that story a lot easier.
This painting tells 5 stories of Lewes, from Native Americans hunting and gathering, the arrival of the Dutch, the city's role in the Underground Railroad, and finally, Lewes's rich maritime and shipbuilding history. Each scene is as captivating as the next.
And that's what I love about designing. The design process is that you think about all these little things. How do you engage the viewer to learn the story? And I know a little kid's going to come up here and say, "Mom, a bird," and then he's going to say, "Look at the boy," and then what's going on, and ask questions. That's the way I like to design it. I like it to, I want it to invite you in to learn it, and to be engaged with it, and then be kind of either blown away or, just enjoy.
The next time you're in Lewes, take a moment to appreciate this work of art. There's a good chance it'll inspire you to learn more about the first town in the first state. For Coastal Connections, I'm Elisa Weber.